Hi, it's Kevin May, the Editor-in-Chief of FocusWire here in the FocusWire studio in association with pros. Brian Kelly, the points guy.
The original points guy.
The original points guy.
Not to be confused with the points guy of the UK or anywhere else.
No. So we're honoured maybe to say that you've... No, I mean, thanks ever so much for joining us.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here.
So, I mean, it's 9 years, we were talking before we came on air, it's 9 years, 7 years since you really started ramping things up for the points guy. But I want to go through a bunch of things with you, Brian. So, your overarching thing is around loyalty and the airline industry and the guidance that you give to your readers and viewers and things like that. What's your kind of overarching point of view on the state of loyalty in the aviation industry? And then we'll see where we go.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I think loyalty is bigger than ever. These loyalty programs are huge profit centers for the airlines. I think a lot of consumers don't realize that consumers, this isn't just like a free flight when you fly 10. This is a full-blown currency. You can get points nowadays, not just on credit cards, but shopping. And, I like, the game Pokemon Go, where there's Pokemon all around you. Well, I feel like there's points all around us. So I think, there's never been an easier time to earn points, but on the other side of the coin, when it comes time to redeem, there is a lot of pain points because airlines, capacity doesn't raise that much. There's trillions of new points in the ecosystem every year. So while it's easier than ever to earn points, it is also getting increasingly more expensive to redeem them. But that being said, as long as you're playing both sides of the coin, consumers can still come ahead. The game is far from over.
Who makes it difficult? Is it just the complexity of the schemes, or is it the airlines?
Well, interestingly, I think the complexity, the airline programs are actually getting more easy to use. So, 10 years ago, there were blackout dates. So either you got an award for really cheap or you didn't. And then over the years, airlines have been, shifting towards dynamic pricing, which, instead of it just being yes or no answer, it'll be, okay, well, you may not have a saver award, but we now have peak, off-peak, so basically becoming more expensive. But my opinion is that at least offers people more opportunity to redeem. So the airlines are trying, because there's so many points out there, they actually want people to redeem them. So it is more expensive, but it's easier than ever to use miles as well.
Okay, and they're offering more, it's not just miles.
Yeah, and
so the evolution of that has
the
really
evolution,
changed.
In the US, the major programs have switched from how far you fly and the amount of miles you get to how much you spend.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the international programs copy that quite yet. Generally, you still earn based on, fare class and how far you fly. But in the US, they've really gone to, we're going to give you based on your elite status and how much you spend. So
on that, because that was quite, as you say, it was quite a big shift.
Yep.
How well received or not was that over time by passengers and members?
It depends which type of passengers. Business travelers love it because when your company pays $1,000 for you to go New York to Boston, and in the old days you would have gotten a couple hundred miles, now you're getting 10,000. So if you're spending a lot on airfare on premium cabins, you are doing much better today than you were years ago.
Right.
The hardcore frequent flyers, the people who really maximize these programs, no longer could they buy a $200 mistake fare to Asia and get gold status, right? So there still is maximizing to be had, but in general, cheap leisure travelers are earning less, but business travelers and premium travelers are earning more. So, that's sort of the theme on the plane as well. In the front of the cabin, things are as good as they've ever been. It's the golden age of flying, and in the back of the cabin, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, would you concede that depends on the airline though, right? I mean, the golden age of flying may not be so relevant to an airline from one.
I mean, I would argue,
say some of the, the Middle East carriers are kind of held up as
but
being...
even when you look at BA just launched their new business class with the sliding door, lie flat bed. I think business class, the Qatar Q suite, even in the US, we've got, the Delta One suite. Business class is freaking great. When you think about 10 years ago, it was angled lie flat if you were lucky, and a recliner. And 20 years ago, people were still smoking, flying was more dangerous. So I believe today with these quieter aircraft that are better for the environment, showers on planes, bars on planes, I think, in the front of the cabin for sure, Wi-Fi, faster than ever and different entertainment, I think things are pretty good. In economy, not always terrible, but in general, more and more seats are being squeezed into the plane, they're thinner, so I would still argue that even in economy, flights are so cheap comparatively that more people than ever can, it's easy. You can fly US to Europe under $400 pretty regularly. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, it may not be gold-plated silverware and economy like it was back in the day, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper and a whole lot safer.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, we've written about a particularly interesting model that Volaris was doing, which was their kind of membership model, kind of almost like a Netflix.
Yeah.
Well, what is your kind of point of view on that? I mean, because they're kind of an outlier in trying that, and
I think consumers are pretty smart. I know that there's a couple of membership-based flying programs in the US where you buy per hour, but in general, it's cheaper to just buy the cheapest flights. I haven't seen one of those programs. JetBlue had all-you-can-fly pass. That was pretty amazing because if you had time, you could really maximize it. With all these unlimited travel, I know Inspirato just came out with one in the hotel space where it's unlimited travel, but you can only book a certain amount at a time, and most people, so my general take is that there's no real amazing flight pass out there. I think still using miles is your best bet, especially when you know how to maximize stopovers and some programs still have wildly lucrative routing rules and how you can. So there's still, I still believe, I guess I gotta believe in points still have huge value.
Yeah, you'd have to change the brand name, of course, if you did.
Right?
Okay, so I mean, loyalty points, that's great. We're in the golden age of airlines, arguably, if you're in the front of the bus as well. But arguably the pain points is actually still nothing to do with the aircraft. It's the damn airport.
Yep, and the air traffic and delays and.
I mean, did you feel that airlines they're just on a kind of? It's a really tough sell for them still because often the passenger experience, which is a thing that you'll hear mentioned lots of times here this week, is still based around the experience that they have getting on the bus and getting off the bus, right?
Yeah. Airports are a pain point. I think in the US, LaGuardia is getting a multi-billion-dollar renovation. Certain airlines have invested a lot. I think the big thing is lines. I think biometrics will be huge in the next 5 years, and not waiting in a line for some relatively untrained person to go like this as a security measure. It'd be much easier to, instead of fumbling with your boarding pass, to be able to just look in and it opens up. I think Europe and Australia have led the way with biometrics, especially at the border. It's amazing coming to the UK now. All US citizens can scan and go straight through the automated machine. So, I think more of that will help the actual travel experience. Because I always feel so bad for people arriving at JFK when there's a 2-mile long line. Welcome to America. Wait 2.5 hours to get processed. That's the type of stuff that makes people not want to travel as much. But I do hope with technology we can, make the airport experience more seamless.
Yeah, you're a fairly tall gentleman. I mean, how did...
You can say it, I'm freakishly large.
It's not for me to say, your words, not mine, Brian. But I mean, how have you found over the years any challenges with your height and just, especially if you're in economy?
Economy, it's like I can't, unless I'm in an exit or a bulkhead on a certain flight. Europeans kill me with this business class, where I would actually rather sit in an exit row and coach than in a normal business class seat, because it's just, my legs physically don't fit. But I think, airlines have done a really good job at creating true premium economy products. Anyone can fit in the US, premium economy 5 years ago was a regular coach seat that they unscrewed a little bit more and you got an extra inch or two. Now, the big three have true premium economy. Not really amazing, not industry leading, but that's sort of the status quo for US aviation, sort of playing catch up years later and never really wowing with any one product for the most part. I think there's some exceptions there, but I think nowadays for consumers, like the best seats on the plane used to always go to elite passengers or luck, and now you can buy, the good thing is if you are super tall like me, you can buy at the time of booking, and the airlines have made it easier which parts of the cabin are premium. Certainly they're making money off of that, but if you're a traveler and you want a better seat, it's easier than ever to buy that exact seat.
Okay, the freakishly tall Brian Kelly, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.